Hi everyone, welcome to Tell My Story podcast. I can't believe I'm here and I cannot believe that this is happening. I have been going through this like over and over and over, and I just cannot, for the life of me, work out in my head what my life has become. You guys supported me, people watching. I cannot express to you how grateful I am for everything you've done. So here we are. I wanted to start this podcast with an introduction video of me, my story, my background, and I asked all of you if you could ask me one question for me to share on this podcast, what would it be? And I've got some really controversial questions and some questions that probably need to be answering. So here I am. I have written a lot of them down. They are in no particular order. I've written them all down because I am terrible with things like this. Can't remember for the life of me. So I've written them all down and I will go through all these questions and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. I did want to say, for the people that don't want to watch but want to know what's going on with their stories, etc., etc., I want to tell you that after this episode is out, I will be recording every night, and every night will be a different story. So it could be anybody's. I'm not going to, again, do it in no particular order, but yeah, your stories will be told and I'll be doing one every night. I'll do one of those like number generators, so I'm not having to pick out of you all, but yeah, that's how I'm going to do it. So I'm just going to literally really crack into it. A lot of people have asked me why I started this, and those are the type of questions that I'm going to answer first, because it's the point of the podcast, the point of Tell My Story, is the reason I have created this. And I'm just so excited to share all this with you. So you have to, excuse me a little bit, guys. All of this is it's so hard for me to answer these questions, and it's so hard for me to talk to you guys properly about everything. So I might have to take a break, but I'm going to try and smash through this as much as I possibly can for you guys. So welcome to Tell My Story podcast. And this is the first episode. So let's crack on. As I said, I've got a few down and I'm just going to pick one at random and we'll just go from there. So let's pick this one. How do you truly feel since you left your abusive relationship? That is a very good question. I don't really know how to explain that, if I'm being completely honest, because every day can be really different. I also have quite a few mental health problems, so that entwines with the trauma of the DV and the whole situation. And it's not even just the DV, it's like grieving him as just a relationship as well, because it's still heartbreak. I still loved him. That doesn't change anything. So I wasn't just dealing with the aftermath of DV and the physical healing and mental healing from that. It was missing him, the heartbreak of losing him and him being that person, and my own mental health. So it's been 2 years. I think it'll be 5, 6, 2 years in December, I think. 3 years in December. I can't remember. The thing with my trauma makes me block out a lot of dates, and I get really confused with a lot of things because like my trauma blocks so much out that I forget a lot of things. So yeah, like it was yeah, it's been a while. I don't know how long. It's been a while. But how I feel right now, I don't know, like a mixture of like I'm really strong doing all of this stuff and like pushing myself through all of this, like raising the kids on my own. Um, I haven't got a word. I don't really know a word for that. Recovering, is that the word? Because like during recovery, it's not like every day isn't the same. You know, there'll be some days that I suffer more than the next. So, you know, I'm in recovery. That's the only way I can put it. I'm in recovery because there's still days that I really, really, really struggle and I miss him and I hate him and I am triggered and I'm stressed and like all of those other things. Like, yeah, there's a lot that I have put into that, but I can deep dive into that stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, especially when people hear like me feeling the feeling of missing him. That is such a difficult thing to explain because how would you miss somebody that abused you so badly and treated you so badly? And it's not him that I like miss. And that's very hard to talk about, if I'm honest. And I don't think I'm ready to answer that question yet. Like nobody's asked me, so I don't have to like deep dive into that. But yeah, it's a mixture of a lot of different feelings. But I would say like the word as a whole is I'm healing. Like that's the only word I can come up with. Does it worry you as a mother to two girls if they'll ever have a healthy relationship? 1,000,000%. Stuff that keeps me up at night, if I'm honest. Because when it comes down to DV, it's hard whether to say that behavior is learned or that behavior is genetic. And I know that's like a really weird thing to say, but in my case with Che, his father was quite abusive. He was very abusive. So, like, I don't know whether it is a genetic thing or not. So it does worry me that, you know, my daughters might be too, from my genetics, be, I don't know, too innocent in a way. And, you know, with me, I wear my heart on my sleeve with everybody, relationships, family, friendships. And I put my all into every friend that I have. Whether I don't get anything back or whatever, I still put everything into that person. And in some ways, I don't want that for my daughters because I want them to be able to have healthy boundaries. I want them to have people want them in a healthy way. Because I think like my whole life, I have wanted people, you know, and it's never really gone great for me in that situation. And I don't want that for my daughters. Do you know what I mean? And they are bad traits of myself that I am in process of healing. And that is why I'm alone. One of many reasons why I'm alone. Because I can't have a healthy relationship. Because I give my everything to somebody. Like literally my whole soul. If I could take my skin off and give it to them, I would. And I think that's not a very good thing to have in some ways. I think that is a gift and a curse at the same time. Because it's like I lost a lot of respect for myself during all of that, especially with my situation with Che. I lost so much respect for myself without realising. This is so hard for me, and I didn't realise how hard this would actually be for me. Because, like, I think you go into something thinking, I'm so mentally strong to do this, and then you get into it and you're like, I don't know if I'm strong enough to do it. But I know I am, because there's so many things that need to be said to help other people, because there's somebody else that could have me sitting while they're washing up and they're listening to what I'm saying and they're like, well, I done that, and they don't feel so alone. I will cry. It's horrible. I get so emotional. I'll cry. Just getting back to the question, does it worry you as a mother to two girls if they'll ever have a healthy relationship? Yes and no, because the way I'm raising my children is very different to how I was raised, to how Che was raised. Excuse me, sorry. You have to break curses. You have to. If you don't break the curse, you're going to pass that down to your children. They're going to pass it down to their children if they ever have children, if that's what they want to do. And it's just a cycle of abuse and mental illness and negativity, and you have to break that curse. And that's what I'm doing with my children, that they will know that unhealthy relationships exist and to not get into them. I don't hide things from my children. Obviously, they don't know a lot because they're kids, but I don't hide things from my kids. I don't hide feelings from my kids. I don't hide the real world from my kids. And they will know what an unhealthy relationship looks like. And giving children that awareness that that is not love. If somebody treats you like that, they don't like you. If somebody hits you, that's not acceptable. I teach this with my children because the real world hit me hard, really hard, when I lost my mum. And I didn't know my fucking face from my ass. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I didn't know what was going on. I was so mentally fucked up that I didn't, honestly, I can't even sit and really talk about it now, because there is nothing in my brain that I can give you guys, because I don't remember a lot of my life back then because of trauma. I was really fucked up. And that's due to obviously like my mum dying and stuff like that. And I am breaking that curse. I'm breaking that, because I'm not going to have my children heal from me. Not going to happen. They're obviously, I will not actually say that, because that's me. Actually, I will, because I'll answer this question going on to that. I say that I am not having my children heal from me, but I'm definitely having to help Shiloh and Shavannah heal from Che. And that comes down to one of these questions that says, I've seen you post about your daughter struggling. What happened? Shiloh saw what happened to me. She witnessed that with Che during the assault. And I didn't say this in my interview, because when you have an interview in those situations, you think about all the bad things that have happened and you just sit there. But like, so much of it wasn't there. And there was a lot of things that I didn't say. But during that fight, Shiloh had woken up in her bedroom. I could hear her. And I stuck my head in her room. And he'd pushed me into her room. I landed on the floor next to her bed, and he's punching me in the face, punching me and punching me in the face, grabbing my face, grabbing my neck in front of her. And she's crying. Sorry, guys. That little girl has witnessed far more than some adults. And I'm so angry because she didn't deserve that. She did not deserve that. If he thought I did, fine. But not her. She didn't have to see that. That question absolutely tore me to bits. My kids are my everything. My kids are my biggest trigger. They are literally my entire world. I wake up kids, sleep kids. Like, they are 24/7. Everything I think about and everything I deal with 24/7. So when it comes to my kids, it affects me in ways that I can't even explain. So knowing that both of my children, both my girls, experienced him in many different ways is really fucking traumatizing. And it hurts me because I have to take accountability for the fact that I was with that bloke. I had 2 children with this bloke. I have to take accountability for that. And that's fucking hard to take accountability for that, especially when he beat the living shit out of me. You know, it's hard. But that's like, along with all of the work that I'm doing, trauma and all of this stuff. So, yeah. That's as much as I can speak about Shiloh because it hurts me a lot. And I'm just not in a position to talk about my children in that way. Shiloh is going through a lot, and I'm supporting her in every single way that I possibly can. She's got a lot of support, and she's doing really well at the minute. So fingers crossed. Anyway, so we've got one from one of my friends that says, "Can I have a sleepover?" Yes, we can. Please come over. I can host the biggest sleepover ever, and I'll be good at it. So yes. This is controversial. Is your youngest daughter Che's daughter? Yes. Savannah and Shiloh are Che's biological children. Che likes to say that Savannah isn't his, and it does make me giggle a bit because Che will go on to act like the most intelligent man on the face of the earth. If you spend any time with Che, which I pray that you don't, if you have, you will know that in that time that you spend with Che, he'll probably tell you 50 facts that you didn't need to know. And why does he know them things? I have no idea. But he knows a lot. He thinks he does anyway. So he believes that because 2 of his daughters are darker skinned and dark haired, that he possibly could not have another child that looks any different to that. And I just think that's absolutely fucking insane. I'm not talking about his other child because his other child's mum, I'm not even going to say the little girl's name because I have respect for that child's mum. She's, I believe, I believe, sorry, she's mixed, I believe. So that's nothing. Yeah. So we're not going to talk about that little girl. We're going to talk about Shavannah, because Shavannah, my youngest, she looks like me. She looked like Austin, my eldest, sorry. See, I'm all over the place. She looks like Austin. She's got like blondie, curly little hair. Like, she's beautiful. She's absolutely beautiful. She's got, unfortunately, his green eyes. They're hers though. Like, they suit her better than they do him anyway, so we'll forget about that. I don't like talking about my kids. It's really difficult for me to talk about my children because I think he thrives off it. He thrives off using my children as a way to upset me. He does that a lot. And yeah, I don't want to get into it about my kids because it hurts and I don't like it. So here's one. If you could describe Che in one word, what would it be? It's hard. It's a hard one. I don't know. What did I describe him in one word? I've got so many words that I could use. I'd say, obviously, abuser is a good word because that's like overall, isn't it? But I'd say he is one of the biggest narcissists I have ever met in my entire life. Like, narcissism is real. It's real. And he acts like he's not a narcissist, which makes him a narcissist. And I hate it. I absolutely hate it. That is one thing that triggers me most about him, how narcissistic he really is. So out of all words I could use, it'd be that one. Yeah, definitely would be that one. It'd be that one. Yeah. Let me just have a minute because I need to have a drink. This is all stressful for me, guys. Are you seeing anyone or have plans to? And if you did, how easy was it after your DV relationship? No, I am not seeing anyone. And no, I do not have any plans to do so. I am not interested in the slightest. I am celibate. I do not sleep around. It's not an interest of mine. And if I'm being completely honest, I have become such a spiritual person in all of this. And I truly believe the people that you let into your body, their souls and their negativity attaches itself to you and they thrive off that. And I don't want that in my life, for one. Two, I'm happy with my children. We've got routine. We've got structure. You know, my house is how I deal with it. It's clean because I clean it the way that I clean. I don't want somebody else getting in the mix with that and making things more stressful for me. So, yeah, I'm not interested. I'm really not. I did start seeing somebody after Che. after I left the DV relationship. And I'm not going to lie to you, it was one of the hardest things I've done. And it didn't end very well because I was not healed in that situation to be with somebody. Che really fucked me up mentally. And I can't trust somebody. I'm paranoid. All of the bad things I am now. And I can't date anybody because it wouldn't be healthy for me or them or my children. So I just don't, and I'm not going to. If you're going to date, do it. If you feel prepared and healthy and healed enough to do that, crack on. Do what you've got to do with your life. I'm just not in a position to do that, and I don't think I will be for a very long time. That just is what it is. I've got one more question. And if I'm honest, I saw this question and I was like, ugh, do I even start? Do I even answer it? Do I even include this in the podcast? And I thought, fuck it. Let's talk about it. So the question that is on here is, what happened with you and Danielle? Right. I'm not really gonna get 100% into it, if I'm honest, because that can be a story for a podcast of itself, because I'd need the time. But for people that don't know, Danielle is Che's other daughter's mum. She didn't give me a chance from the start. From the start, she hated me. She was trying to climb through his fucking windows when I was there. She was trying to smash through the fucking front door while police are there, and her daughter's outside in the car and she's trying to smash through the door. This was literally straight away. So I knew she was fucking crazy to start with. But, I was just like, I like this guy. We'll see how it goes. I'm not going to let a woman destroy my relationship. But anyway, I probably should have ran for the fucking hills right there and then, and it probably would have saved me a hell of a lot of fucking shit. But besides the fucking point, me and Danielle found out we were pregnant at the same time. You can't, you literally, you can't. It don't make sense when I talk about it to people because they're like, fuck off, no way. Yes. So Che had told me that him and Danielle weren't sleeping together, were just co-parenting. Obviously, at the start, he was probably a fucking liar. And he clearly was a liar from the story I'm now about to tell. And I got with Che, and she was obviously fucking nuts. And stupid me believed that she was just nuts. Well, she is nuts, but, it would have been caused by something, He caused me to be quite fucking crazy, so I can expect that it probably happened to her too. But anyway, she found out she was pregnant, I think, the end of October. Me and Che got together start of October. By the end of October, she had told us that she was pregnant. I was adamant that I was going to leave it because I didn't want to get into it. I really, really, really didn't. He didn't believe her, to be honest, and wanted scan photos and stuff to be sure that, she was pregnant. But I didn't think I could deal with that. That was a lot for me to deal with, considering how nuts things were already. Like, yeah, it was tough. It was really tough. So I decided to stay. Stupid fucking me. And I found out I was pregnant in November, literally the start of November. So we were both pregnant at the same time by the same guy. Honestly, don't judge. No, actually judge me, because It's a bad situation, and I was stupid as fuck. But I'd already lost my son. I found out I was pregnant, and I was just like, this is my blessing. You know, I was so attached straight away to my daughter. So I kept her. I don't regret that. She saved my life. But I'm not going to get too much into Danielle's story because that's up to her. That's her story, her life. But Danielle went through loss of her child. I stayed pregnant and gave birth to Shiloh. She was born the day after her daughter's birthday, but around the due date of her past child. So I know it was probably really fucking hard for her. That doesn't take away the stuff she done to me, but there's no excuse either. But let's give her a little bit of pass on the fact she went through something quite horrific, and I give it to her. I don't know what that feels like because I didn't go through what she went through. But at that time, I was so confused with everything. I was so heavily pregnant. This happened in the May, and I gave birth to Shiloh in the July. So I was so heavily pregnant. I was so hormonal. And I probably said something I shouldn't have said. And I said something to her along the lines of, if I could put myself in your shoes and take it all away from you, I would. And before you guys jump down my neck, now I sit here and I tell it, I realize how horrible that comment must have felt to her and how that comment comes across, and I get it. But she genuinely thought I was being malicious, and that was not what I was doing. That was far from what I was doing. I felt fucking awful. I felt awful. I've never felt guilt like that, ever, in my fucking entire life. I've never felt guilt like that. I just thought, like, at that point, I just wanted to take away her pain. I would have given up everything to take away her pain at that point. Che was telling me things from the hospital that, you know, he probably shouldn't have told me, quite intimate things, but, you know, how much she was struggling and the stuff that was going on. I felt fucking awful for her. And I sent him some money to get her some flowers and some toiletries and some bits and pieces. Make her get her dignity back, you know. That got chucked in my face, but we moved past. After that, had the most horrendous abuse from her and all of her friends, which again, looking back, I know she was upset. I was still pregnant, so I get she was envious, she was angry, she was sad, like all of those different emotions, I get it. But I didn't deserve the stuff that they done to me. I did not deserve that. It was not my fault what happened to her. Even though she blames me for it, it was not my fault what happened to her. I wanted to write a lot of this stuff down because there was quite a few points people have asked me about this situation with Danielle that they want answers to. So again, I might do another like episode on this, but yeah, it was a really fucking horrific situation. It was a really horrific situation, and she fucking hated me. There was nothing that I could do that was gonna fix anything. She hated me. I decided to meet up with her with one of my friends. She had one of her friends with her, and we met at mutual grounds. I was heavily pregnant with Shiloh at the time. We met mutual grounds and we tried to talk things through. Che then came and he was there with us. And it ended up kicking off really bad because Che just cannot handle any type of discussion whatsoever. He ended up storming off. And I heard a lot of things, and I spoke to her a lot about a lot of things that I'd been told and he was lying about. And I believed at the end we came to like some sort of like level ground, I believed anyway. But I then found out that she'd said to that girl that she was with at the time that she wishes she kicked me in the stomach. And I just thought we were on some like mutual ground. Like I thought so anyway. And so did my friend that was with me. Like we thought that it had kind of just been left how it was. Like we'd all got our shit out and it had been left. But no, she was angry still that she wanted to kick me in my pregnant belly. But I was like, okay, like what more can I do? I'm not saying that I have been innocent in any of this, because I have not been, and I have definitely retaliated to her. I have give it to her just as good as she's give it to me, and don't get me wrong, I've tried my hardest. She went on to social media saying I burnt memorial stuff, I done this, I done that, when I've got proof that that never happened. And I've got proof, emails, screenshots that I can get up right now, showing that actually I found all of the memorial stuff, and I'd contacted her through email, and I was like, do you want all of this stuff? Like, I kept it for you because, like, out of respect. And I gave it all to her, done her a nice card from like me and Shiloh and stuff. She then went back like a day later. She went on social media saying I burnt the stuff, which I just think is fucking insane, because I told her in the message, in the screenshot that I have, that Che, when he put all of the memorial stuff out, there was some ink, hand and footprints that he'd put on the windowsill, and the sun had come through obviously the window and had sun bleached the ink and hand footprints, which had made it go quite light. If you know your science, you know that's how science works. And that's what happened. But she went on to tell everyone that I burnt it and I damaged it and this, that, and the other. Cool, again, whatever. In none of this, can I please say, in none of this has this girl rung me and spoken to me. She's emailed Che a million trillion fucking times, kicking off about me, causing fucking shit, lying, saying, so it was my birthday. I was heavily pregnant with Shiloh, and me and Che were going to a restaurant in the city centre in Norwich, like Jive, I think it was. Jive, like with the tacos and that. And we were stood outside, and he got an email pop up. Excuse me. And it was her. And she was like, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to get this email up, because it's going to really stress me out if I don't have this email, because I don't want to quote something and it not be right. Because the thing is with this girl, she will turn around to be like, that's not what I said, she's lying, blah blah blah, and it will make me look like an idiot. So I'm not dealing with that. Bear with me, guys. So the email reads, hey, I hope you're well. I know you won't believe this, but I do think you have a right to know. Your girlfriend's been cheating on you. Ask her who is, also known as and Only found out because one of their girlfriends messaged my friend bitching about your girlfriend because she knew the guy had a girlfriend and still pursued talking to them. It was all on Snapchat. Might be a third, but I'm not 100% sure that one's legit. Believe me or not, up to you. Your daughter's well, by the way. I then found out, like not even a year ago, I don't think, that the girl that had actually done the cheating, there was a girl that done all of this. She has the same last name as me, but Danielle had changed the first name, so it sounded like my name. But really, it was another girl, and she just changed the first name. And I just think that's fucking psychotic because I was so heavily pregnant. It was my birthday. And I just thought, like, wow. Do you know what I mean? Like, fucking wow. Like, you're really going to talk about this? Like, really? But anyway, came out that it wasn't true because I spoke to these said people and they were like, I don't know what you're talking about. I hadn't done anything wrong. Anyway, I've got literally like a whole folder, unfortunately, because even when she went on social media and she said, oh, she got me arrested for, what did I get her arrested for? Defamation of character and harassment, I believe, which is right. It was right. She was fucking harassing the shit out of us. And I was not fucking dealing with that. The harassment went on for such a long time that I genuinely, like, here we go. You guys won't really be able to see that. Hold on. Can you see that? These are emails. Like, this is not a joke. Okay, so yes, I got her arrested for fucking harassment. She went on and told everybody that it was my fault that things happened to her because I got her arrested. It was not my choice when they arrested her. I reported her like 3 weeks before that, and they decided to arrest her when they arrested her. That wasn't my fault. Maybe she shouldn't go around harassing people. Anyway, not going to get into that. There's then another email that I've seen that I wanted to read out because I found it the other day and I just thought, do you know what? I'll fucking talk about it because it's my podcast, talk about what I want. She goes, I have finally had enough of being stalked and harassed by a girl who literally watches everything that I do and is lying about social services saying my kid's dad is dangerous when I've never said such a thing. You probably should have. She and got her admitting to causing drama with me because she believes I called social on her. You did, like 100 fucking times. You love drama, Grace. I think you get off on people kicking off. It's sad when it's you on the other foot. You're crying rape to someone you love. You're lying about losing your kids and then being ill. Do you know what that story is about? I was in the hospital bleeding with Shiloh, heavily pregnant. Che and Danielle had met up and were at a pub with their daughter, drinking in the middle of the day while I was in the hospital, bleeding, and he was laughing with her about it. He then came to the hospital, drunk as fuck, stunk of piss, and she was like laughing about it. Like her and Che were sat at the pub laughing about me. Like, that's fucking hilarious, Danielle. Like, fucking so funny. Like, you're strange, man. Like, that's just evil. It's evil behavior. Anyway, in no world will I ever be jealous of you. I'm disappointed in Che that he's stupid enough and sad enough to believe you. But why would I be jealous of someone when they say your name out loud? Not one person has one nice thing to say about you. People just bring up all the horrible things you've done in your life. You could have proved me so long when you met him and you haven't. You didn't give me a chance, babe. Good luck to you both, because there's no one on this earth my children will ever associate with such a horrible girl who poisons their own children. So keep Che, because you've damaged him enough and nobody recognises him anymore because of you. This is the shit I was fucking dealing with on a daily fucking basis. Here's another one. Didn't you say Grace is that much of a bad mum? The kid will end up in care, but you don't care because you'd rather that than bring up one with her. Oof. I know she was next to you earlier telling you to say that, lol. Be in an abusive relationship, Che. I feel for your kid, seriously. After all you told me, you're lost, mate. Oh shit, forgot she gets your emails to her phone because she's insecure. Lol, Grace saying I'm insane is hilarious. It's her stalking and making fake accounts trying to prove my innocence, which is making me send these. And then another massive fucking one saying that she was sleeping with him while I was pregnant. and she was like laughing about it. Like, see, here we go. And since your girlfriend wants to say I'm keeping you from your kids because you won't sleep with me, let's throw it back to the beginning of last month when I came to her doors at 2 a.m. without my daughter, brought you something, you came out to my car with a bag of overnight stuff, and this, and this happened while I was heavily pregnant. Are you proud of yourself? But anyway, like we can go on if we want to. I can go on, but this is going to be a story for another episode because I've got a lot to say. And there was another question that somebody asked me on a video the other day, was about me saying, hold on, let me get the TikTok up because I'll be able to reflect back about what this person actually said so I don't get it wrong. So we're on my TikTok now. Okay, so it was this video. A girl who chooses an abusive man over her child safety cannot have talk for me. Okay, that is about Danielle. She knows about her. I've commented about her about 10 times underneath. If she had me unblocked, I would have tagged her. But that's besides the point. Someone had said something underneath it saying, I understand what you're saying, but we all fell for it at some point. You don't truly realise until you're in it, and more so when you're out of it. I fully support you in your page, but I don't agree with this. As sad as it is, you'd have to let these women be and have some sort of sympathy for them. They will follow the same fate. These men never change. And do you know what? I replied back to that comment, say it, because she said that she'd take it back because I explained the situation. She said to take it back. And I said, no, don't take it back because I stand by what she said. I agree with what she said 100%. But I didn't mean it in the way that she's talking. Danielle fully, 100% knows what happened to me because she's claimed for a long time that something like that has happened to her. She knows. I then put Che on the exposed Lowestoft page and the exposed cheaters and abusers page. She got all of her posse to comment underneath it all saying I should rot in hell, that I'm a liar, there's so much more to the story. Yes, there is two sides to every single story, especially, you know, in these TV situations as well. There's his story, my story, you know, and my story, his story, and the truth. And my story is the truth. But there's one thing that you can't lie about, and there's one thing I will sit and say over and over and over, is you can't lie about evidence. That's one thing that you can't do, is lie about physical evidence. Photos, physical evidence. You cannot lie about that stuff. Abuse is abuse. And she watches my social media relentlessly because she keeps saying that I just keep having kids and don't financially support them and I don't do this and the other. I spend more time with my kids in a week than she has done with her kid in a month. And that's no joke. So, you know, when it comes to things like this, she can't have no talk for me. But when I'm talking about when women get with abusive people and take their children around this person, I'm not meaning women that have been lured into, you know, these traps and been in these relationships, or it's a fucking, you know, she knows what he done to me. She has not been with him since 2021. As I know, probably been sleeping with each other since then, because it wouldn't surprise me. But he then got out of prison, and I then got screenshots from his social media that they follow each other on social media. Why? Then I got more information that she had driven her child up to where he is, because he can't come into Norfolk because of his license and his GPS tag. She's driven her child up to see him after he'd done that to me, after he pled guilty for ABH and non-fatal strangulation. He pled guilty. And she thinks that that is acceptable behaviour. That's what my video is about. It wasn't about, you know, survivors of domestic abuse. I'm not a fucking arsehole. And I wouldn't shame another person that has been through what I've been through. but I will shame somebody that knows what that man is like, knows that that man has been abusive in front of children, including your own child, because with some of the other evidence that I have, she is very aware how abusive he is. She's very, very aware how abusive he is. She's made enough TikTok videos stating how abusive he is. So, you know, when it comes down to all of this stuff, it's everybody says it's tit for tat. And yeah, it is a hell of a lot of tit for tat. I will stand by that. It's a lot of bullshit that didn't need to happen. And this could have been ended a really long time ago. But when you start bringing children into it, when you start wishing death on children, Danielle, when you start causing shit for people's life and their children and their situations, and talking to their family members and my friends and my relatives and my son's dad and everybody else that you've spoken to, because you have, and let's not say that you haven't, because we could go have a look on your social media now, and two of my friends, ex-friends of over 20 fucking years follow you on social media and you comment on a lot of their posts. And I think that's really fucking ironic because they're my friends and were my friends. And also my baby dad, so Austin's dad, and Austin's dad's girlfriend. What are you doing having anything to do with any of them? It's, and the thing is, you try shoving this narrative that I'm this psycho and I'm this and I'm that. Why are you friends with my ex-friends of like 20 odd fucking years and my son's dad and his missus that kidnapped my child, and you comment on photos and videos of my son and I'm the psychotic one? Right. Anyway, so we've got one here that is from the 20th of September 2022. He told me he was seeing someone else and cried, so he smashed a glass over his head, got a knife to his throat, all while I was 20 weeks pregnant, and cried because he hated that he had hurt me. I felt guilty for being upset. I believed he cared for me because he said he'd rather hurt himself than me. I ended up comforting him. Here's another one. I could have said he fell asleep at the hospital room while I was near death and just found out our baby, then walked out and told the midwives he'd be back in a few weeks. He has another baby on the way, but I didn't. I said he was really supportive and glad he was there to meet his son. Here is another one. I'll never hurt you, Danielle. Everyone I meet, I end up ruining their lives. Danielle didn't see this as a red flag. Danielle fell in love with this boy and lent her life savings. Wasn't your life savings though, was it, darling? It was your child's. Because you and Che got your daughter into modelling to make money off her. And question, where's any of that money, Danielle? Wait, you gave it all to Che to do up his apartment, didn't you? All of your daughter's savings. So it's not your life savings, is it, Danielle? It was your daughter's modelling money that you made off her when she was like, 6 months old? Anyway, let's not get any more into that because I will go to town on you. Anyway, Danielle is in debt, now has an injunction and a single month or two. Danielle is so severely traumatized and struggling to trust men again. Danielle only has herself to blame as she ignored everyone's advice and thought she knew best. If you know all of this stuff and you've posted all this stuff and this guy is this evil person, like, why would you get back into the reins after you've had such a break from this person? He's been in prison. You haven't had anything to do with him. Like, I was actually in the relationship with him. I was the one that went through the DV. I was the one that went through all of this stuff. And I left and I kept my 2 kids and I that has been it. I had my injunction. I've kept my restraining order. She knows the situation and she's gone and put her child in danger. And I don't appreciate it because she has chucked in my face so many times that I'm this evil mum and I do so wrong and I do drugs and I drink alcohol and I go out all the time. It's embarrassing to me because I've been out once since my 26th birthday, literally. I don't drink alcohol. I smoke here and there, of course do. But like she'll put up a video of being like, my life is amazing. And it's all these videos, one after the other, of her drinking and being in a club. Where is your kid? You go into all these concerts, all these fucking things, drinking and doing all this shit. Where is your child? And she goes, oh, I took her to Turkey. Okay, so you took her to one holiday, so that means you just keep her inside for the rest of her fucking life. You've been to Turkey, so you ain't going nowhere else, babe. I'll go to all these concerts because I've done my due diligence. Like, fuck off. No, you didn't. Like, stop acting like you're this incredible mom to everybody else and putting everybody fucking down. And you treat everybody like shit while you're doing it and acting like you're innocent. And it really irks me because, like, face the fucking music. Face the music. I've had to face it so many times of I'm not a good person. Do you know what I mean? And I've had to face that. I've had to accept my wrongs. I've had to accept the bullshit that I've done and I've had to learn from it. I've had to heal from it so I don't affect and hurt anybody else. And not once in any of this time have you sat there and have you apologized or have you, I don't know, sat and been like, actually, yeah, I did that and it was fucking shit. Like, not in any of that time, anything you've done. You've wished death on my children. You turned Che as a weapon against me, telling him that Shavannah isn't his child. What did you think was going to happen? You knew he was beating me. What did you think was going to happen? So all he done was come home and mentally abuse my daughter at 2 weeks old and physically abuse me. That's what started him nearly killing me, was thinking that I cheated on him and had a baby with somebody else. And you started that because you knew he was a weapon. You were going to use him as to your advantage against me. And I'm not doing this. I'm going to call you out for this shit you've done because you now could have done the best thing for yourself. He was in prison. He come out of prison and he's fucked off away from Norfolk. You could have kept yourself and your daughter safe and you've done everything but. You've gone against everything. You know, you work in a nursery, but you can't keep your own child safe. And that doesn't make sense to me. You know, if I was doing these things, you'd ring social on me again like you always do. You know, I had 5 coppers kicking in my fucking front door a month ago because of you lying to police again. You know, like, you're not innocent. Don't ever say that you are because I'm sick to death of the narrative. Sick of it. Let me check if there's any more questions. No, thank goodness me, there is not. There is no more questions. I just think there's so much in my story that could grasp so much tension. And I don't do it because I have always pitied people and I've always felt bad for their situation. Like, I read people and I read their situations. I'm like, she's reacted this way because of this. And she's done this because of this. He's done this because of this. And you know what? Not anymore, because nobody's done that for me. Nobody's sit and said, oh, she went through loss of her mum when she was really young, which is my mum's anniversary today, 14 years. Rest in peace, Mum. I love you and I miss you very much. But nobody's ever excused me. Everybody's always held me accountable for my shit. Nobody's ever pitied me. And that's why I've had to grow a thick fucking skin and do what I do. Because there is not a single person that's going to change my mind on speaking my truth and speaking my story and talking and telling other people's fucking stories. Nobody is going to stop me. Not a single person. And they've tried. They've tried. And it does get me to a point where I might go off social media for a couple of days and like hide under my little shell, because I still have mental health issues. I'm still a human being, it still affects me. So, but you're not going to fucking bring me down. I've built a community of survivors. I've built a community of people that want to tell the truth on their abusers and the enablers and the bullshit. So this is why I've done this. This is exactly why I've done this. I am one of the most open people you will probably ever fucking meet. And I'm going to have people sitting in this fucking bed with me with a mic, talking to me about their stories. I'm going to read people's stories because I'm going to go on here quickly and just have a scoop through a few, just so we can. I've had a couple come through the past couple of days, but we've got our stories. So I will be, as I said, every episode I'll be doing like a number generator, because they've all got numbers on them. I'll do a number generator, read out that person's on that story. If that person wants to be on the episode, let's get on. You can either come down and you can visit and I'll pay for your travel, and you can come and you can sit and we can talk, or I can get you on the laptop, I can get you on the phone, we can have a chat, or I can read it for you. I can work with it, and that's why I've said to you guys, don't be fearful, don't be, oh, can you not do it in this way, and I'm scared about this. I will work with you. We will work it out however means necessary. We will deal with it. I will tell your story. However it needs to be told, I'll tell it. I'll tell your story. And I will be recording again tomorrow, because I am starting tomorrow. And again, I will be doing a number generator. I will put a recording of the number generator on. So I'll email everybody with a number, and I'll put every day, I'll do a number generator, pick the number, I'll put it on my story. I won't tag anybody because that's not why I'm doing it, but I will put your number on the story, and you know that the next episode is going to be for you. Obviously, you've all got your own names for your stories, or your anonymous names, or however you want me to tell it. We've got all of that sorted out. So everything will still be, smoothly running. But I just wanted to get on here and be real with you guys and get quite raw and show you guys that, I'll answer these questions. I am very open about my own life and my story and, my dramas that have happened, and because I've grown so much from that shit, and I've learned from a hell of a lot of things, and even in this Danielle situation, I've learned so much over this time that my daughters do not need that negativity. My daughter Che does have a baby with somebody else, and she is incredible. She's a lovely, lovely, lovely lady, and we go really, really well. Her daughter is beautiful. And, just some people aren't your people, and that's okay. She just will not be my person. And, in the future, as I said, me and Che have been very open and honest with Shiloh about his other daughter. She knows who she is. She knows she has a sister. She knows she has a couple of sisters. She knows her dad was a little bit dipping it here, there, and everywhere. Not in that manner, but she knows she's got other siblings. I've not lied to her. So, it just a shit situation, but it is what it is. My kids are happy. If her child is happy, what do you do? Like, as long as kids are happy and they're safe and they're healthy, like, I don't have to have nothing to do with her, do I? So, yeah, this is going to be the end of my podcast. I cannot believe I've sat here with you guys for this long, and I've talked to you, and I've opened up, and I've answered gossipy questions for you guys, which I know some of you have been gagging to actually ask me and get me to talk about. If you are still here, Thank you guys so much for staying to the end of this. I don't really know what else to say. I'm so traumatized out that I'm going to go crawl up in a ball in my comfy bed. I love every single one of you, and I'm going to get emotional again, but just thank you all for giving me the opportunity to do this. Some good news. I done a interview for a radio station the other day in a different country, regarding Claire's Law. I'm now doing 2 more interviews this week. Oh, I feel like crying. Telling my story, raising awareness, and you guys have got me here. So thank you all so much, and I will see you tomorrow with the first Tell My Story podcast story. I will be back tomorrow. I love you all guys so much. I love you so much. Thank you all. Love you. Bye.